Okay, so we just made some carrageenan to mix to be the size for my marbling that I'm going to do on Tuesday. Mike and I wanted to make sure that there was an option for people to make a size for themselves at home, and we found a couple recipes online, and I'm hopeful about this one. It's cornstarch and water. I've never tried to do this before, so this is the first time and you're catching it in real time. It's ultimately 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with 3 1/4 cups of water that was heated up and mixed together and then let to cool back to room temperature. So I'm gonna treat it just the same way that I would treat my normal marbling size and see if that works. So I'm gonna just put it in the tray. It's kind of bubbly, and typically you don't want bubbles, but it also, like, that just has to do with the design. I'm not going to worry about it too much right now because I just want to see if the ink floats. This also isn't ink, this is food coloring. Another thing that we were thinking that people might have laying around. So if this works, then that would be great. It's something you could do on your own. So I'm just gonna drop like 1 drop. It looks like it's sitting on the surface. It might be sitting like too much. Okay, so I'm gonna put a few drops of each color in here. And see, it is sitting on the surface, which is what you want. Typically, like, so the thing about marbling in general is that you want the size, whatever your like thickened water base is, you want that to actually hold the ink or hold the color up at the top, so that you don't want it to be sinking down. And then that allows you to create some sort of design or pattern at the top and transfer it onto your paper by laying your paper down. So I'm also just curious, while we're at it, what happens if I mix a little food coloring in with water. I mean, it doesn't make it spread anymore, it just makes it lighter. So I'm gonna make a couple little designs. Seems to be dragging fine. This might work. We shall see. I can see some, as I'm dragging it, I'm seeing that some drops actually did fall to the bottom, but there's still a significant amount of ink on the top. This is like a classic marbling design, even though it's kind of a fake out. Okay, so let's test it. I have some really thin drawing paper I'll test with first. I also have some thicker watercolor paper. I'm just gonna lay it down the same way I normally would. So I'll just let this sit here for about 30 seconds or so. See if it'll pick up the ink or not. So let's see. So typically you would pick it up and you would drag it against the side just to get any extra size off. Oh, it kind of worked. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, cool. Okay. So this is something you can do at home if you want. You don't need that carrageenan. So I'm just gonna leave this here to dry. I'm just gonna go ahead and like put color right over what's already there. And you could always mix these colors too. If you have the standard like four color food coloring set, which I don't know, I feel like people, I had it, but like I dye things. So of course I dye my food. But I feel like that's a thing people might have. But you can definitely mix the colors. Like If you add yellow to the green, you could get yourself a light green. You could make orange with the yellow and the red. You could make purple with the blue and the red, and all sorts of other mixtures. You can ask me for color combinations in the comments if you'd like. I do like thinking about color combinations. So I'm gonna make another one of these like tiramisu style. I'm just doing straight lines, like putting my pipette. Okay, I'm gonna try and print on the watercolor paper now. This is a lot thicker, so I don't know. Again, we'll see. We'll find out all together. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds. I'm gonna pick it up on the side. And again, I'll wipe off the excess cornstarchy. That's pretty cool. It's a little streaky. I guess the thinner paper was maybe better. It's still kind of cool though. So I'll just let that dry, and I guess I'm not sure, but yeah, the other one doesn't seem to be moving at all. So I think if you let it dry, it should be permanent on there. So typically with standard marbling, you could put another piece of paper or like newsprint or something like that on the top of your size and clear it, and then all the color would go away. I think whatever, I don't know if it's the cornstarch or if it's the food coloring or a mix of both, but something about that is not allowing me to do that. If you want a clear base for each print that you make, I would recommend just making like more of this, and then you can dump it in between. It's just cornstarch and food coloring, so I wouldn't worry about dumping it out down the sink or down the toilet or something. But yeah, this works pretty well. If you don't want to go the route of investing in marbling equipment, getting the sort of chemical carrageenan, and needing a separate stuff to make it, this could even be done in like a baking tray. You know, this is all food material, so you wouldn't really have to worry about using food equipment. So yeah, I hope this is something that you enjoyed, and if you've tuned in on Tuesday for my live stream craftwork marbling, then go ahead and use these tips to make your own. If you haven't, if it's before Tuesday, please tune in. We'll be doing craftwork every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for at least a few more weeks, or until we're out of quarantine. I hope it's something that's keeping you busy while you're in quarantine, if you like crafting just as much as I do. And if you haven't already, please subscribe in the button below. Thanks for watching.